안녕하십니까. I am Brennan and I am a fighter training in Korea and I'm preparing for my fight coming up soon. These days I've been training as a fighter, preparing daily for my next fight. Those who's training to debut or go professional, they train 2 to 3 times a day. Lately I've been training 2 or 3 times a day, conditioning to skills to homework. That's what I take, what I learn, and I bring it into the gym and I see if it works. If it works, then I use it. If not, then I don't. A long time ago, I was very young, me and my siblings. In our family, the females do like cheerleading or running track or doing nursing. The guys always take up a certain martial art. So it's always been family tradition. All my uncles hold black belts, 3rd dan and higher in Taekwondo, karate, boxing, golden gloves. So it's really been family tradition, most of our family being fighters. So that's how I started. I came to Korea to train and learn a different style of fighting. American style fighting is really elite, it's really good. But my philosophy is just not to stop there. First Barnett, when I was training under them, they always encouraged me to go to other gyms and learn and pick up other things. You know, you can't grow staying in one place. I started with Taekwondo and karate and things. I started competing in Taekwondo, light, medium, and full contact, karate, light, medium, full contact, kung fu tournaments. Many tournaments I started competing and then they started just getting boring. Fighting really is like a drug. Only a certain level will give you that satisfaction for so long before it doesn't do it anymore. Before I knew it, after my last fight here in Korea in Taekwondo, I decided to go MMA because Taekwondo is a beautiful art, but it didn't do it for me anymore. With Taekwondo, to a certain degree, it's very like back and forth. It's not like MMA, which is a chess match. You know, it's outsmarting your opponent, you know, drawing him in, and that's what I love about MMA now. Best thing was when I went out for ONE FC. It was actually last year. And I met Rich Franklin. I went out for the Join the One Warrior series. Rich was impressed. He was impressed with my striking and my grappling. It was decent, but going against guys who have different other styles of grappling, I proved to be unsuccessful. So he talked to me to improve my grappling a lot more, and from there, he'll give me another shot. Without him, I never would have met Ian Jun and Kwon So, which were 2 of 5 that really pushed me and really helped me to improve, which I'll always be indebted to them for. The worst thing is when people that you trust and people that you believe are your friends actually look down on you, make you feel like you're nothing, make you feel like your skill is not good enough. That was one of the worst moments. Like, honestly, I'd rather get knocked out than have a friend, someone that I consider a comrade, to down talk me. Number 2 is some of the comments. Being a foreign fighter here is really not good at times. You're always going to be the bad guy. If you're a foreigner fighting against a local, there's always going to be that rivalry, and I understand that, and it's fine for me. But sometimes some fans do take it a little too far. From when I was at my fight, there was one bald-head guy that was saying bad things about me in Korean, and I heard it, but I didn't say anything because there's no point to confront him. I took it and I pushed it down, and I said, okay. Eventually, I'm gonna make my mark. It may not be now, it may not be 2 weeks, but eventually, I'll make my mark. That's the good and the bad overall. Income, oh wow. As an amateur fighter, you get nothing. You're actually spending money. That's why if you're going to be an amateur fighter, you should have a stable income and or a part-time job at least, because there's going to be times when you're injured, you're paying your own hospital bills, you're paying for your own training. So amateurs don't make money. Being a fighter is a really difficult life. A lot of people join it thinking they can earn a lot of money, but really, you have to really become a fighter because you love it. And if you don't enjoy it, you should not be there, because when it gets tough, when it gets hard, you gotta have something to fall back on. You gotta have that foundation. Amateur is all about experience. It matters, but it doesn't. Because I have a lot of friends and I have a lot of people who I know who were undefeated in amateur and went to professional and have a losing record. I know guys have a losing record in amateur and went and became world champions undefeated. Amateur is for you to gain that experience. I lost a lot of my fights, I'm not gonna lie. But I'd rather lose all my fights here than losing professional. At this moment, my debut is unknown. My plans now is I took the lessons that I learned in the cage, because I learned some pretty difficult lessons. I learned about sportsmanship, I learned about how to win, I learned about how to lose. It helped me prepare, become strong in mind. And some people don't have the luxury of getting those lessons. With that being said, I'm gonna take the lessons that I learned from my coaches, my dear friends, and I'm gonna apply it, because that's what I have to do. I have a few, but I can name 3. And the reason why I'm naming these 3 is because during my course of training here, they've really inspired me a lot. The first one is Kamaru Usman. He's a Nigerian-American fighter. He's UFC welterweight champion. Israel Adesanya, also Nigerian. He's a UFC middleweight champion. Henry Cejudo, UFC flyweight champion. Those are the three that I look up to as inspiration as a fighter. Everybody said bad things about him. They said bad things about Kamaru, saying that he would never survive. He would get knocked out by Tyron Woodley and everything. He just proved everybody wrong. It made me very proud as a person of Nigerian descent. Israel Adesanya started from very bottom, worked his way up. So those are the three that inspired me the most. And looking at those three is what now is pushing me harder to prepare for my debut. What we need to think before we throw a punch. How much legal fees can we afford? Oh wow. If I would see that comment, I would like it too. That's really funny. Not to mention you are a great fighter, but you probably are a talented teacher. Oh, thank you so much. I don't consider myself a great teacher. I don't consider myself a great master or anything. But the small little knowledge like this much, that small knowledge I have, if I can help someone with it, I hope that it can be taken and used for good to better one's life and one's safety. Here's something I learned when I was a kid. There was this bully that gave me such a hard time that I almost wanted to kill myself. Oh wow. Whew. One day I just thought to myself, better fight and lose than to kill myself. And I threw myself at him. As soon as I began to fight, I realized that he was not as strong as I thought. I wanted to fight in a ratio of 6-4. From the next day, he became such a lamb and treated me nicely. Was he capable of being nice? I felt good, but also confused and embarrassed about how I spent months in pain because of this guy. From then, I just started to fight whenever someone tries to push me around. Of course, there were people who were better fighters than me, and I did get beat up time to time. But because I don't take from anyone, they tend to leave me alone after a while. Bullies will be more bullies if you don't stand up for yourself. Wow. What's the name of the person who wrote that? Horengi. If you're watching this video, if you comment under the video saying who you are, I want to treat you to dinner and hang out with me one weekend. That is true. Bullies will be more bullies. You should never be afraid, because if you're afraid now, you'll always be afraid for the rest of your life. Bullies, they bully people because they have no self-esteem or no confidence of themselves. So they take others to feel good. They're just trying to fit in or rise above the little social line to be considered important. You take that away, they have nothing. So it doesn't matter if you win or lose. For those who are watching this video, if you're being bullied, I don't condone violence. I don't. However, if you are in desperate need to defend yourself, do it. You may be hurt. It will hurt. I'm not gonna make it seem like that you'll be this awesome ninja with nunchucks, but you can go to sleep and you can wake up and live to see another day. If you guys want to comment more on this video, just comment below. Also remember to like, comment, subscribe. If you have any questions for me, I'll try my best to answer them if I can. If you feel like you can't go on, if you feel like you're reaching your final point, just know you're not alone.